OJ Simpson, the trial of the century. Now, I remember last year in 2020 when the documentary on OJ and Nicole came out on Investigation Discovery. Everybody was talking about it. First of all, because Tiger King was over, and let's face it, there wasn't much on TV back then, but also because we were shocked it had been 25 years. It felt just like yesterday to me. And I remember all of the theories. Whether the cop was actually racist, whether the glove really fit, or whether there was really a thief who broke in. And I remember how divided the whole nation was on whether OJ was innocent or guilty. And because of this, because he was on TV, because people were fixated with this issue, he was tried in what we call the court of public opinion. And this was the beginning of a long line of cases where individuals are tried in the court of public opinion, often before they even go to court. I'm Andrew Esquire, and this is The Legal Mindset. And today, we're going to explain exactly what the court of public opinion is and why it is radically inferior to real court. Now, we've seen a ton of cases over the last 2 decades that have been tried in the court of public opinion. You might remember Casey Anthony, or as a certain TV personality called her, the Tot Mom. Now, she was tried in the court of public opinion and found guilty by many people before the case even started. In fact, it was so difficult to find a jury that they had to go outside of the county to find jurors. And let's move forward in time to Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby was well loved for The Cosby Show. Also, Jell-O. Everybody loves Jell-O, right? Special Jell-O shots. Now, Bill Cosby was accused of sexual misconduct. And before it even went to court, before there was a case filed, people had made up their mind about Bill Cosby. They had judged him in a certain way. And he was mocked, even by SNL, before there was a case. And this has been a string throughout the recent Me Too and Time's Up era as well. And you can see this is a long line of cases that stretches back in time. The Me Too, Time's Up era cases are simply the next iteration of the court of public opinion. This used to be mob violence. You used to find somebody who you deemed a witch and go out and throw them in the water and see if they floated. And that's exactly what we try to avoid. In fact, certain figures like Aziz Ansari never went to court. Now, Aziz Ansari is a well-known comedian. He was Tom Haverford on Parks and Rec. And after he was accused of sexual allegations by an anonymous individual, he was forced to make public apologies. But it really divided the nation into what is and isn't permissible. And this is the quintessential court of public opinion. The same thing, or near same thing, happened with James Franco, who's well known for his movies with Seth Rogen, his BFF. Now, James Franco was also tried in the court of public opinion for his misconduct. Now, putting aside whether James Franco or Aziz Ansari actually did what they were accused of doing, the important thing is that they were judged before they went to court. Now, James Franco actually has gone to court, and he's actually raised defenses to the allegations. And right now we will see, as the trial proceeds, whether or not he did what he was accused of. And this is exactly why real court is superior to the court of public opinion. And there's 3 primary factors, 3 primary reasons that make it superior in all aspects. The first is a neutral process. And a neutral process is key to the rule of law. And if you want to hear more about the rule of law, check out my video on the rule of law. Now, the key to a neutral process is that you believe in it and that it generally is neutral, doesn't favor one side over another. And I know what you're thinking. Andrew, come on. Our process is not perfect. It sometimes favors some parties over other parties. Sometimes it favors the state over the accused. Sometimes the rich over the poor, whoever can afford a better lawyer. I get it. Especially as a lawyer, I can see how our system can definitely be improved. It is not perfect, but there's a difference between an imperfect process and an impartial process. If we go back in time, we would find decisions on guilt, especially criminal guilt, where your life is on the line, being decided for political purposes. Maybe because you belong to a certain religion, or you were a certain race. That would deeply impact the outcome of a criminal proceeding in the past. But today, we have attempted to move away from that. While it may not be perfect, we're taking steps in the right direction with our process, especially compared to where we were in history 300 or 400 years ago. Now, beyond that, another important right, and it's fundamental in our Constitution, is the right to confront your accuser. Now, you have that right to stare them in the eye, to look at the person who has accused you. That's something we're not really getting in the modern era. We're not getting that in the court of public opinion. You've gotten so used to going to the comment section and leaving a nasty comment under an anonymous name, or perhaps filling out a complaint form anonymously, sending that email off under user525@gmail.com. That's not possible in court. You're there with the person you've accused, or vice versa, and the jury is there. And imagine that you're sitting there in court and someone is accusing you of a crime. They're saying, you did it, you're guilty. But you see them shaking. You see them not making eye contact. You see them looking away. And more importantly, the jury sees that. The jury sees all of that and can determine, based on what they see, based on that body language, based on the context of all the information they get at trial, they can decide whether or not that person was being truthful. And that brings us to our last point. Fact-finding. Fact-finding is the key to why court is superior over social media justice. Now, at court, you have depositions, as I explained in my other video, as well as subpoenas, which gather information, whether it's interviews with somebody to get their testimony or documents that you can look at. And in our modern era, we have even more documents. We have photos, we have videos, text messages, calls. All of these things can be taken together and in context at court. In the social media era, so many things are trimmed, are massaged, are cut and pasted in a way that promotes one side, that promotes one picture of an image. That doesn't happen in court. That is not permissible. But it is permissible on Twitter when you only have 140 characters. And that is why court will always be superior to social media. And if you want to see one thing, one big battle that is being fought in the court of public opinion, check out my latest video, The War Against Trump.